Hello, welcome to the Yarn and Yarns YouTube channel. My name is Angela and all of the places you can find me should be linked in the description box just below this video. How are you today? I hope you are well. Welcome to a Yarn and Yarns extra video. I'm going to chat about my journaling again today. So I'm hoping to make this a regular extra here on the channel now that I'm hopefully back in the habit, or at least starting to get back in the habit. If you watched the last journaling update, you'll know that I've been keeping up with my Muji planner and journal, but that my creative journal has sadly fallen by the wayside. So I'm hoping to get some work done in, well, both of them really this week, but with a particular focus on trying to get that creative journaling kick-started again. So I'll show you once again, just to remind you, this is my big creative journal. And I got as far as doing a title page for January and then it stopped. So what I am hoping to do is start my catch up. After I posted the last video, my lovely friend Simone has her own YouTube channel and I'll link to that below. She does amazing journaling videos that I find very inspiring. And if you're not a journaler, she knits too and has started a little knitting vlog on her channel as well. So if you're not into the journaling, then you should definitely still check her out and watch her knitting installments. Anyway, she commented on the journaling video and suggested that if it felt like a really big task to try and catch up from January to now, is to think about how many pages I might need for each month and kind of allocate those pages to the month and then skip ahead to the now and start by kind of working backwards almost, so that I could start working on the things that were freshest in my mind and then go back and do the previous months as and when I feel ready to, which I thought was a great idea. So this afternoon I am going to just start penciling in my title pages for each month. And I think I'm just going to flip the camera around so you can see my actual journal. You can kind of see that, not ideal, but you get the gist. So I've got my January title page laid out. And what I'm thinking of doing, as I said in my last journal, is doing sort of like a memory page. So adding a few sketches or jots that kind of connect me to the events in that month. And then also to do secondary pages as to what creative projects I completed, so my knitting and my crochet. So what I'm thinking is that for each month I will just I shall leave this page for my sort of memory keeping, and then a double spread for my creative projects. Maybe in some months I'll only need one page, but if I've got the two, then I can use the two. So yes, I think that should work. So I'm going to just quickly grab a pencil and just pencil into the top of this page that this is going to be my February page. And then, so that would be memories, creative projects, March, memories, creative projects, April, and then the same for May, memories, creative projects, and May. Because it's a beautiful day here in South Wales today, what I think I'm going to do is grab my stencil and my box of watercolours. So actually, if I just take, my stencils are in this pouch along with some stickers and other bits and pieces, so that's pretty portable and pretty handy. I've got my tin of Inktense watercolour pencils. I can actually slide that into that pouch. I've got my tub and my water brush, so I reckon I'm all set to take my journaling into the garden and enjoy some sunshine. Yesterday I managed to get 2 of my monthly title pages finished in my creative journal, which wasn't really what I was expecting to do, but I'm really pleased with the fact that they're done. I took my watercolours out into the garden yesterday afternoon with a idea of just stenciling in the names of the months and just watercolouring in the letters. As I started thinking about February, I was struck with an idea to decorate the whole page, so I just went with it. It's very simple, it was pretty quick, and the fact that it was really sunny outside yesterday meant that the page dried really quickly. So I'll show you what I've got. I started thinking about February and what kind of connected me to February, and we had a lot of rain in February. We were subjected to a couple of really big storms. I think Kira and Dennis are 2 that hop to mind, and sadly there was a lot of people affected by flooding in that month. We weren't here, but we did have a lot of rain and a lot of wind. So I thought my original thought was, oh well, I'll just make a grey sort of page to indicate that kind of weather mood. But then I thought actually I could do some sort of cloud and then February, and it just kind of progressed. So this is a really simple page, but I'm really pleased with how it's turned out. So I basically used 2 colours from my watercolour set. I think that's ink black and then indigo blue, and just kind of like blended them in slightly. I am no watercolourist, and you'll see that when I get to the March cover page. It's very basic, very childlike. I see lots of journaling videos here on YouTube where the makers on that channel are truly artistic. I am not. You're talking to the girl who in her art class was left on the table of kids to kind of get on with what they wanted because they weren't good enough or clever enough or talented enough to do the tasks that the teacher actually set. So by happy accident, so I watercoloured on top here, and the page was very wet. By happy accident, because I was resting on my lap, I happened to tip the page up and the water sort of ran down in splashes, which just fit in with the theme. And then for the February letters, I took the same 2 colours and just kind of coloured each letter and blended those 2 colours in. And that is literally going to be it for my February title page. But I'm pretty pleased with that. Then it came to March, and before the COVID-19 pandemic started, we were lucky enough just to sneak in a weekend away with our friends, and we went to the Cotswolds and had a fabulous weekend. And I remember coming back from that weekend was the start of the great toilet paper rush. We didn't really know the seriousness of the situation. We were kind of joking on the way home, would we be able to get toilet rolls and stuff, but lockdown hadn't started and we didn't really know exactly what was coming. But anyway, that's a by the by. On that trip we went to a arboretum, a place called Batsford Arboretum. It's a really small arboretum, and in part of the arboretum they had a couple of sort of Japanese and Chinese inspired statues, and they had this gorgeous bridge, bright red bridge, and we'd just experienced a rainstorm. So there was this bright red bridge with this kind of like really bright mossy green bank and the sort of flowing stream coming underneath the bridge, and it was just gorgeous. It's stuck with me, as you can tell. Now, I'm not clever enough by half to even attempt to copy. I've got a photograph of the scene, but I wouldn't even attempt to copy a realistic kind of painting, but I could do an impression. So I decided to use March 2020 as the red bridge, and then basically just watercoloured around it. So some really basic stick trees, a kind of grey sky to represent the rainstorm that we'd had, the really bright green sort of mossy bank, and then there was a pond underneath, but I couldn't do water, but you can see I've made an attempt to kind of reflect the red from the bridge down there. So yeah, really basic, but really ties me to a happy memory from March. Whether I get much further than that this week, I'm not sure. before I do upload, I will certainly show you my weekly page in the Muji journal before I wrap this video up. So I thought I'd show you how the spread that I started to put together at the end of last week has turned out. I'm recording this on Sunday, and I always do my journaling for the preceding day in the morning of the next day, if that makes sense. So my Sunday day is blank because I shall fill that in tomorrow, but apart from that, everything else is completed. So I'll switch you around and show you how that turned out. Stuck with my theme of adding a word or two in bold for every day, as I have been doing the last few weeks in this journal. There's not as much going on now as there is at other times in life, with us all being at home as much as we can. So I don't have reams and reams of stuff to write, although I found this week I had more to say than in preceding weeks, just because I'm thinking about it more. So yeah, for every day I picked out a word or two and sort of add those in bold to kind of give me a quick impression of the day. I've also started using these lovely stickers that were sent to me by my friend Jeanette. So this is to denote that I finished a spin, and then I've got a shawl up here when I finish my chances wrap. So I thought that'd be a good way to start using those lovely stickers. In this side of the page, I had a little section for work, for stuff that I wanted to do at home, and then this is my sort of creative projects that I worked on every day. So I used some of these lovely stickers to mark each day, and then made a note of what I was working on. And this really helped me focus on what I wanted to do this week, and I achieved everything apart from one up here, which was to start my January page in my journal. But I've already explained my sort of focus for that journal pivoted a little bit as I started working in it, so I'm not worried about not actually achieving that one because I did other things instead. I was left with this big space in on this side of the page, so as we've had another lovely week of sunshine, I just found a sticker of a cat in sunglasses to go with my cat theme, and added a really basic sun. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased that having these things has helped me to start focusing again. So I've set up my page for next week. But the thing I really missed last week was having this grid, which if I flick back a couple of weeks, I've been using for a couple of weeks in my journal to help me keep track. I guess this is kind of like a habits tracker that you see often in bullet journals, and I want to help me keep track of some of the things that I'm doing in my creative life. This list is good, but it doesn't really show me at a glance how often I've stuck to my goal of spinning or working on my 12 cast-ons. So I've gone back to adding that in for next week. I've got a slightly smaller section for work and home because I didn't need as much space as I thought for that. And then here I've got this sticker, do one thing every day that you love. So this is just going to be sort of like my little gratitude panel here. So I'm going to pick out something that made me happy each day. And then this side, again, you know, not much going on. I've decided that I'm going to try and go to the shop just a couple of times a week. Last week I started going to the shop every day for about an hour, but I found that it sort of ended up taking up quite a lot of time out of my morning to get there and get back, but then it wasn't really enough time in the shop to get stuck into many tasks. So I thought rather than go every day, I'm going to try and go for the whole morning a couple of days a week. So Monday and Thursday will be my shop days, and then Wednesday I've got a couple of bits and pieces penciled in, but that's kind of it. So yeah, it was really this grid that I ended up missing, and also changing my sort of like, not that I'm going to be changing my work habits because I'm still going to try and work a bit every day, but I'm going to work on stuff from home on Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday if I can, and just focus on going on into the shop for a couple of days. So yeah, that's my journal roundup for this week. I'm hoping to maybe not do a journal roundup every week, but maybe once every couple of weeks. We'll see how things go over the coming months. But yeah, if you're here and watching, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope that we get to spend time together again soon. Until that happens, I hope you get to do some of the things that you enjoy. Great big woolly hugs to you all. Bye for now.